What's up, guys? Do you know what is to make a custom surfboard that is crazy, that you never saw before? Let me show you, and let me show you why they are better than the factory ones. What's up, guys? It's JT from the ProjectBastard. It's the first part of the free where I will show you the full process of making a custom surfboard. What you can see here is my prototype that we'll be working on. It's a 5'8", 19 and a quarter, 2.5 step deck board. Now, what is the step deck? Step deck refers to the surfboard that has quite a flat deck with kind of a bevel transition to the rail. This helps keep the more volume on the board but still keep it within a more performance outline. I love the look of it, but personally I hate the way that this kind of bevel rail shape works and feel under the water. But I'm gonna try to maintain the core visual that I like and the practical aspect of it, but still twist it to the point where it meets my performance needs. Main difference here is that the traditional step deck will have the quite chunky bevel up to the nose, and the nose usually stays quite thick, where basically we need to add what is called a big nose, which means that we need to like shape the nose down. But even if we're gonna shape it down, it's still gonna keep this thick chunky nose, and personally I don't like the look of it, and I don't like the way the board feels under my chest, especially when I paddle. It's like it feels so weird for me. So the main idea here is to keep it on the middle with this original bevels, but then foil it out the nose and the bevels like you see on traditional surfboards, to keep it the tail and the nose so it can fit my needs. The tricky part of it is to design the board the way that, again, we're gonna keep the core of this idea of the step deck, but then we have this bevel goes and narrows down and refines perfectly to the nose, and connecting together with the rocker. It needs to follow the rocker to look good and to function good. And this is basically what I achieved here during the designing part. Then the board was cut on the CNC, and what I'm doing now is finishing the CNC cut. Although it was cut on the machine, it still requires quite a lot of work from my side, especially with the step deck like that, where all the points need to meet perfectly, and it's actually quite hard to design it on the computer. And also, as you're gonna see later, working on the nose rocker basically just on the tip of the board, the CNC always leave it a bit thicker. Also, it's hard to design like a super tight curve just on the last 3 inches.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play.
So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna pin the nose down. It adds a bit of rocker, doesn't change the way the board work, but change a lot the way the board looks. And this is one of the key points that's gonna make a difference between my boards, other custom shaper boards, than the board you can buy in the factory. Will not change the way the board performs. And here we have before and after. Small details like that make a huge difference, and this is what separates the custom shapers like me, like other guys, no matter if we're doing hand shapes or the CNC cuts, we're finishing them. But this is what separates us from the factory standard boards that are basically designed the way that once they are cut on the machine, they're just cleaning up the lines and basically the board is ready. You can see that when you're gonna look on your board or maybe on some other boards in the shop. When you look at the nose, you can see that basically just the tip of the nose looks like it's the same thickness like the next 2-3 inches of the board, and for me personally that looks super weird, and I like to keep this kind of nice foil out. And it goes the same with the tail to blend everything good. What I'm doing here, I'm working on my rails to blend everything together nicely, and although it's a quite aggressive bevel when it goes to the step deck, I have to blend everything nicely so all the board looks like a one uniform piece. And at that point is basically finishing the board. using a soft pad with super soft grit just to blend everything together and make it work. Few last passes, taking the stringer so it's not sticking out. This board is gonna have, I would call it like a double split diamond, or call it whenever you want. You can call it like a straight fish, catfish, whatever. And as you're gonna see, this is the other part that makes the custom surfboard the custom surfboard. What I mean by that, I'm basically gonna spend the same amount of time I'm spending on finishing the whole CNC board, the same amount of time I'm spending just to shape the tail. But thanks to it, it's just perfect. Goes to the art we're gonna be doing. We're gonna try to put kind of like a light art on it. To do it first, yeah, I need to tape the whole board, and by that I mean like use a lot of tape going vertically from the nose to tail first, and then I'm putting another layer of the tape from the rail to rail. Thanks to this, the tape is gonna work right like now. It creates like a huge sticker, and you're gonna see why I need that. After that, I'm using some spray glue to put template, and I'm cutting the first layer off. And basically this part involves of non-stop cutting, peeling off, like you're gonna see like now. I need to peel off the first layer. After it's gonna get peeled off, I'm gonna spray paint it with the first color, the lightest one, although by the end I'm not happy with the first color. But anyway, let's keep going. So once the first layer is done, I'm gonna put my sticker back, cut out the other shapes following other lines, leave it what I don't need, spray paint again, and repeat the process. So basically just this process all together took me around like 2 days of straight work. It takes a lot, but this is the stuff that you're not gonna see anyone doing. And the reason is that I like to take the inspiration from a lot of different art industries and use the different techniques. Obviously I'm using a lot of techniques that is typical for the making the surfboards, like thin glassing and other stuff like that, but again, I'm going here piece by piece, cutting, tracing. I need to sometimes put a bit more extra tape to cover some parts, spraying again and again. At this point I'm ready to cut and spray the last color, the darkest blue. Here you have the final product. Personally, I believe turns out good. I don't like the way the first color turned out. It's like too grayish, although it's supposed to be blue. Not sure why, but I'm gonna stick with it. It's still quite okay. At that point I just need to peel off the remaining tape, and once this is done I'm gonna use the back of the tiny brush and press the line all over the pattern, so when it's gonna go to the glassing it's gonna create a nice different color shade. You're gonna see it later. I hope you enjoy it, and to the final shots.